And we are live. Hi, good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us today. Today is episode number 6 of our series of LinkedIn Lives that we have been doing. And today we have also a very interesting topic that I'm going to be sharing with all of you. And I have very interesting guests as well to talk about this topic. So today's topic is about what it takes to be successful in the financial industry, especially in this new age, right? We know that the financial industry is an industry that a lot of people feel it's very hard to succeed because it has a lot of things that come with it, and we're going to explore a lot of that today. So, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to firstly invite our two guests. First, I will have Rachel introduce herself. Hi, Rachel. Welcome to the show.
Hi,
Uh,
Vivek. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Rachel. Can you do a quick introduction before I bring on our next guest?
Hi. As everyone knows, I'm in the banking and finance industry for the last 25 years. You can see, like in my LinkedIn profile. And today, I'm still very passionate about my business because there's so much depth in the wealth management area, given the increase in wealth in the world and in Asia. And I'm a builder of the next generation. And I hope to pass on my wealth of experience to many young entrepreneurs out there.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Rachel, for introducing yourself. Now we'll have our next guest to introduce himself. Let's put your hands together to welcome Mark. Hi, Mark.
Hi Vivek, thanks for the introduction. Maybe just a quick introduction about me. My name is Mark, and I've been with Victorine Wealth Management in AI Singapore for about 8 years now. And in these 8 years, I have gathered some insights, which I have found useful and practical, to share with some of people that are similar-minded or have the same sort of struggles as a Singaporean in today's modern age. So
Yeah.
I have some stuff I want to share, and we can talk about it later.
All right. Yeah. So today we are going to be talking about what it takes to be successful in the financial industry, and we have two very successful people, right, who are here. So we are going to ask you a lot of questions, and please share as much as possible so that everyone who's listening get a lot of value. And for those of you who are tuning in, please make sure you share your questions as well, so that you can tap on these bright minds and they can share all their knowledge that they have with you as well. So don't hesitate to type in the comments whatever question you have regarding how you can succeed in the financial industry. Okay, so with that, I'm going to begin with the first question. The first question, right, is I think the most important question as well. What are the misconceptions that people have of the financial industry, to both of you? Yeah. Rachel, you want to go first?
Okay, sure. I guess a lot of people think that financial industry is all about numbers. They must be good with numbers. However, I want to share that it is very learnable and you can learn from the scratch because it's very able to pick it up. Now with iPad, it's so much easier also. And people also think that as they join in this business, they feel it's a tough business because they need to approach others instead of waiting for others to approach them. In fact, what is happening now is really social media. Whenever we post about what we do, actually people do ping us, even refer us. So times have changed. Yep. To
Yeah,
you, Mark.
absolutely.
Hmm.
What are your
Yeah,
thoughts? Misconceptions?
I think Rachel brought up a good point about people thinking that we have to reach out to people, and that's what I want to talk about also, because there is this social stigma around being in the financial services industry, where people say that, oh, you're going to lose friends because you have to approach your friends, and I think it is a big fear for a lot of people. And to be very honest, I think in my 8 years I've actually made more friends than I have lost. In fact, I don't think I've lost any friends. and the reason is because I think this whole idea of losing friends because of your job, is tied to a stereotype of people in this industry, which is something that I think a lot of us have encountered. Somebody out of the blue, maybe your primary school friend, will call you and say, "Hey, hi Vivek, It's been a long time since we met. Do you remember me? Do you remember Mr. Tan in our primary school? Hey, let's catch up for a coffee. And when you sit down, like, yeah, sure, hey Mark, yeah, sure, let's meet up and let's talk about old times. And then when you meet them for a coffee, they will ask you something like, hey, Vivek, if you died yesterday, what happened to your family?
Oh no.
And nobody likes that, because it's clear as day that you are actually you have a ulterior motive. And so for the people that say that they lost a lot of friends, maybe it is not because of the industry, maybe it's because of what you did after the industry.
Right.
Yeah, and
Maybe.
I mean, if you say coffee, mean it. Don't use it as a way to trap people into meeting you, because that's the quickest way you will lose a friend. And
Exactly.
and that's on you, not the industry.
Sadly, they paint the industry badly, and everyone thinks everyone is like that because of one person with a wrong approach, or maybe misguided approach, right? And I think,
Yes.
yeah, that's why it's important for agents and leaders like yourself to showcase that there are other ways that we also approach, and we grow, and we help one another. So, and that's why being the role model and shining the spotlight on people like you is really important, because it helps other people realize that, hey, actually not everyone is like that. It's only a few. There's always a few bad apples in any industry, right? And unfortunately, sometimes the media picks up the wrong bad apples, right, and puts it up, and people automatically think that everyone is like that. Okay, so Mark and Rachel, I want to ask you, right? So, what are the challenges joining in this industry? Because it seems like this industry is not that easy to join. It's not easy to stay and continue to be successful. So, what are some of the challenges to joining this industry?
Okay, I'll go first, Mark. Yeah.
Sure.
I want to say hi to a boss, Ao Yong out there. Thanks for coming by. Well, we always wanted to be our own boss. So the irony is sometimes we fail to boss ourselves, especially in time management. So once you come into the business or any business as an entrepreneur, I think time management is very important. And another very big challenge is, of course, this business is all about hard work, persistency, and discipline, and of course a correct attitude. So to be a good boss, ourselves and entrepreneur, actually these are some of the very important criteria, as well as it can work both ways. Yeah, it's a double-edged thing. If you don't get it right, the business doesn't work your way. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. All right. And what about you, Mark? What do you think are some of the challenges?
I think one of the biggest challenge, I think, to a lot of people who want to join this industry is that they are told it is a risky career move, because there is no guarantee of your income, and what happens if you have liabilities, the family, or not really liabilities, but responsibilities. Sorry, like a family, children, a mortgage, and things like that, and that is a big fear for a lot of people as well, But actually, we have how to say, we have moved with the times. I think it's also
Mhm.
design schemes, where we not only have allowance, for people who join us, on top of what they are paid for their commission. We also have a scheme where you are actually a salaried employee, with CPF contribution, which is I think is a big stepping stone, because I think that actually gives a lot of people the security that they and the stability that they might need, especially if they have responsibilities that they have to look for, or if they're the main breadwinner. And I think
Yeah.
another thing that would hinder a lot of people is not actually themselves, but the people around them. I've seen a
Mm.
lot of people getting scolded, or getting in a way like scolded, or looked down upon, from their own family and their own friends, who actually tell them things like, oh, why don't you get a real job? And people can look down on you. It is something that some people are not comfortable with. In fact, a couple of years ago, I wasn't doing too well, in industry, and I had a friend that actually approached my ex-girlfriend. I call her my ex-girlfriend, but she's my wife now. She stuck with me through the hard times. And he actually asked, "Hey, how much is he earning? Maybe I want to hire him. Because it doesn't seem like he's doing very well." And thankfully, even though I wasn't doing very well, when he heard, he was like, "Oh, okay, I can't afford him." So thankfully, I'm still in the industry, and thankfully I had accumulated a good income at that point of time. Even though to some people it didn't seem like it was a great job. So these two things are some of the things that might hinder an individual from actually considering a career. But there are always ways about it, especially with our new schemes and allowances.
Yeah, like they say, if there's a will, there's a way, right? And I think that's what you've actually kind of established, right? There will be always ups and downs, even for people who are in full-time jobs. There's a recession going on, so it's not exactly all roses and rainbows and unicorns for them as well, right? Because you also have to know how to stay ahead. You also need to upgrade yourself, and I think that's why being in this line, right? It really keeps you on your toes, and it really requires you to bring your everything, your 100%. And I think that's why people grow very fast, because you're meeting so many people, you are staying on top. You also have to be knowledgeable about what you are going to be advising, because you are, in a way, you're a consultant as well. So that brings me to one of the key questions. What do you think are the mistakes, right, that consultants who have joined this industry have been making that caused them to fail? Like those people who saw it, they said, I think I can make it, I think I can achieve my dreams through this career, and then they join, and then they feel like they are not, they feel like they didn't get what they were promised, or they're not hitting the dream that they dreamed of. So Rachel, what do you think are some of the mistakes that consultants make that cause them to fail?
For me, very importantly, just like I say, the challenges as also the mistakes are really time management. So with very poor time management, people goes nowhere. They can actually fail very badly in any way, even at a job, if they don't manage their blocks of time well. And most importantly, it's about not being single-mindedly focused. So I always share with people that when they want to do something, they have to be single-minded, especially in our business. Um,
Mm.
I came into this business, I was told that this business is a selfish lover. You cannot have like another lover, or you cannot do time. So you must give undivided attention to this. So this is what I always believe in. You have to be single-minded in whatever we do. So there's a lot of deep work here. Yep.
Yeah, a lot of focus, right, and being able to stick to it long term, right? Being patient about sowing the seeds and farming for the long term. Okay, Mark, what do you think? What do you think are the mistakes that some consultants make when they enter?
I think a lot of times it is really like Rachel mentioned, it's about time management, but it's also about managing themselves. I've seen the easiest way to fail in this business is really a lack of discipline. If you wake up at 2 p.m. and you say, oh, you're going home at 4, how do you expect to succeed? How do you expect to do well? And then when you don't, you can't blame the industry, or you can't blame the job for not doing well, because you've not actually, to put it harshly, you've not actually done anything. And in this industry, I think that the autonomy that we have, the freedom to do our things, can sometimes be a double-edged sword. So that's what makes sometimes the discipline a bit difficult. And
Yeah.
the other thing that I mentioned earlier, about cornering people, I think this business is a long-term business. We want to establish long-term relationships with our clients. We are not McDonald's. We're not just selling Happy Meals. It's not a transactional sort of business. I establish long-term relationships with all my clients, or at least I hope to. And by doing what you do, trapping somebody into a coffee, you might be able to get the person to buy something once, but I'm pretty sure he will never buy something from you again. And that's not what we want, because that will actually affect you in your later years when you're actually trying to build your portfolio, you're actually trying to build long-term relationships with your clients. Yeah, that is what will affect you. So what you do at the start, on top of discipline, really matters, and that's what would affect you along the years. So it's important to take note of that.
Okay. And let me ask you this, right? So, to follow up on this question, what are the secrets? What's the recipe for success? Because you guys have been here for long enough to be successful. You know what it takes to get to where you have come, right? So, what's the secrets of success that you both can share with the audience tonight?
Mark, you want to go first?
Sure. My secret is not actually a secret. I think actually, if you speak to my clients, I think the main thing is actually being, for me, is to actually be sincere and genuine. It makes a difference, because no matter how smart you think you are, or no matter how well you think you can mask it, your clients can tell. And when they know you have a genuine concern for them, they are more ready to trust you. And when you can show that you have the professionalism, you have the expertise, that you can actually, and they trust that your advice can actually help them, then it makes things a lot easier. Because and that's how I am, with my clients. I don't usually have a lot of people, or a lot of my clients being wary or doubting what I say, because they know I mean what I say. And if it's something that I say, this is something that makes sense, unless they don't agree with me, more often than not, I don't really have a lot of issues, because the trust is already established over the long term, and they are not afraid to refer me to other people, because they know that they know how I treat all my clients, and they are not afraid to they're not worried that I might treat somebody badly. I might treat somebody that is close to them. For example, I've had people refer to me, their parents, their children, their relatives, and there isn't that fear there, because they trust me, and they believe that I can actually deliver on what I say. So I think being sincere and genuine is I mean, it can be a big cliche, but it is really very important.
It's understated, right? Yeah. All right. So, I'm eager to hear from you as well, Rachel. What do you think is the secret?
Definitely, Mark has a very trustworthy face. Yeah, I know Mark for a while. Um, I definitely can be, someone that share everything with him. And definitely want to do business with him. Okay, for me is I'm very blessed. I came into this business with great mentors. So they lead the way, they show the way, and they care enough for me. That's why today I'm where I am. I still remember, my mentor actually went to my HDB house, knock at my door, and make sure that I leave my house to work. Yeah, so that was really something that shows so much concern, And in this business, success does leave clues. That's why all the right mentors that lead us definitely have a system, and they are with us in the joint field work, and is tested and proven. So with that, all the mistakes that I made all these decades, and I have definitely mapped up what are the do's and don'ts. Yeah. Then look out for my coming book. Yeah. I'm happy to share and give everyone a book as a gift if you want to ping me on it. Okay, it's the secrets to achieving $1 million round table, the tested and proven way. So
Oh.
look out for that.
Wow. That's like an announcement. Okay, so for those of you who are listening, right, if you want to get a copy, please make sure you type in the chat, type in the comments, right, and share that you are interested. Share, I'm keen, so that you will also get a copy when it's out, okay, so that we can also reach out to you. The only way we know you are interested is if you actually put a comment in there, okay? So please make sure you put the comments in there saying that you're keen, and you'll get this secret. You see, the good thing about experience is that you can transfer it to these kind of mediums, but there's nothing, and I say nothing, that can beat the one-to-one experience, with a mentor and a coach, because they can really share all these stories, these experiences, and the lessons they've learned from their own mistakes, so that you don't have to make the mistake yourself. So for those of you who are here, right, those of you who are listening, please also type in the chat if you have any kind of recipe of success that has worked well for you. Please share it in the comments as well, because we want to gather this as a resource for others to also learn from. Okay, with that being said, I want to go to the next question, right, which is to the both of you. What makes you stay so loyal, so passionate about this career and this industry? I mean, those people who stay in this industry, they are very loyal. That means you don't job hop, right? You're in the same industry, you are in the same job for the rest of your career. So it's really amazing. Usually people job hop and switch industries every now. I think it's about every 2 to 3 years. You see, they either switch from one company to the other, or they switch from one industry to the other because they get burnt out or they get bored, right? And so, what makes you stay here for so long? Please share with us. Mark?
Sure. Yeah, but I mean, like I mentioned, I've been in this industry for 8 years, and I think the reason I stay is really because of the difference. Is what I call the difference between a job and a career. Over here, I have a career where I'm actually building something, that I can call my own. My clients, my business, my portfolio. It is of value to me, and as long as I'm doing the right thing, I will never have to worry about being retrenched. I won't have to go to the office and have to sit, in somebody's office and say, Mark, thank you for all the years you've been here, but you have to go. I'll never have to worry about that, because this is my business and it's something that I built on my own. That's the difference. And I always feel that, for somebody that has a job, you are valuable to the company until you are not. So yeah, which is a grim way of looking at things, but it's something that I've encountered or I've seen, along the years, and yeah, so that's really why I've been staying in this industry.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, Mark, you've been in the industry for 8 years, right? Rachel, how many years have you been in the industry?
About 25. Yeah,
Whoa.
a quarter of a century. Yeah.
So, Rachel, what's keeping you so loyal and passionate?
I'm revealing my age. Okay, so I think rewarding career is very much the fulfillment in making claims. I always feel that when your client trusted you and with their finances, with their family, and with their money, and at the end of the day, when you deliver the check, I always find that it's immense fulfillment, more than what money could get. Is really when you put food on the table for the orphans, for the widows, and most importantly, you create cash flows for the organization. I still remember the time when my church friend, when she had lymphoma cancer, and when she was passing on, she was dying, she actually had 7 policies. And I told her, since you have so many and you are single, why not you donate one to charity? And she actually endorse that and say, okay, I don't mind, let's do it. And when she said that, I was so happy. And when she passed on, I still have a check. I delivered this to Touch Community, that she has actually selected. And this is something that uh, I felt that is really that significance, leaving footprint into someone else's life, and she could create that legacy. And of course, today, why I'm also very passionate is really because I feel that I'm creating wealth both ways for clients who are afraid that they live too short, or for clients who are afraid that they live too long. Yep.
Oh, nice. I like the way you put it.
I can
Oh,
go
yeah.
on and on, Vivek. Yeah.
Wow,
Mm.
wow. Okay, so it seems like this is one of those careers where you can really see the impact of the work that you're doing, right? Like what Rachel said, right? She has a conversation with a friend, and a friend decides to make something, do an action that really benefits so many people. And also in Mark's case, right, when people come to you, they need to do a claim. You're actually already seeing the impact of them having worked with you and having different policies. So that is also the real impact that you see. here. So I can see how meaningful it is, and especially for the younger generation, having to do something that's meaningful is so important. We actually talked about it in one of our LinkedIn Live episodes as well, right? So I want to ask the both of you here, right? For those who want to really join this industry, that means they are not in this industry. What is the one advice you would like to give them, Rachel?
Okay, for me, it's definitely a good mentor and not a friend. Yeah. And I always feel that mentorship is like a relationship where you can actually be handheld, all right, till you succeed. So I literally followed my mentors 10 years each because I could learn all the hard skills, the soft skills. Most importantly, is a lot of hard strings that we talk. And these are some things that I always believe in. A great mentor, a good mentor that you have will bring you a long way to succeed and to success and live that life of significance for an entrepreneur.
Wonderful. Well, what about you, Mark? What's your one tip?
I think for me, the one tip is, it's really going back to what I mentioned before, discipline, and a lot of people join the business because they are motivated. They might have attended a motivational talk, where they are really motivated to get up and start working. But the difference between motivation and discipline is that you can lose motivation.
Mm,
You can attend a motivational talk and be fired up for a week, a month. But if you don't have the discipline to follow through, it will die down, right? But with discipline, if you have the discipline and it's ingrained in you, you will always be disciplined. You might not be motivated to wake up, but you will be disciplined enough to wake up. If your alarm rings and you're not motivated, you just turn it off and go back to sleep. But if you're disciplined, you'll wake up. You might be grumpy, you might be grumbling all your way to the bathroom, but you will be up.
yeah.
That's the
Yeah, it's
difference.
a big
You'll be
why.
grumbling your way. Exactly. So I think things will fall into place. When you are disciplined. Discipline really leads to a lot of things. Like self improvement. And in this career, you really have to constantly strive for self improvement. You can't be too comfortable, and this lifelong learning and overall better control of your whole life, not just your career and your income, is something that I think people overlook, right? So discipline really helps everything fall in place. Yeah, that's the number one thing for me, I think, to be successful. Yeah, or to join this
Wonderful.
industry.
So, the thing about understanding yourself, whether you're disciplined or not, there's a way to find out. For those of you who are interested as well, right? All you need to do is scan the QR code, because when you do, right, you get access to not only a personality profiling tool, which is the Enneagram one, but you also get access to mentors like Rachel, who will actually decode your results, right? So you don't just want to read a report and then think, okay, this is everything, but you want to have a dialogue with someone who is certified in this to really explain what each of these things in the report means. And that will also help you to understand what are your strong areas and what are your weak areas. So, Rachel, is there anything you would like to share about this tool and why it will be helpful for our viewers?
Mm. In fact, Enneagram is actually our core motivation. A lot of us always do DISC, MBTI and all. They are all personality tests. However, Enneagram actually reveals the core motivation, why we are doing what we are doing, in a very subconscious worldview way. So I don't know what I don't know. So do scan it and find out what you don't know, and some of our potentials and our strengths will be revealed at our coaching sessions.
Oh, wonderful. So for those of you who are interested, scan the QR code so that you can access this. And with that, we are going to end today's session. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Mark, for joining me on this conversation, for sharing your secrets, for sharing the challenges and keeping it real throughout the conversation. It's been very valuable for all of us who be listening. All of our audience has been listening. So thank you so much. Take care and have a great night.
Thanks,
Good night.
everybody.
Bye bye, everyone. Bye, Sao
Bye.
Yong.